Hey guys, what's up? I'm Chevelle, and today we're going to go over the Tirna Scithe dungeon. Tirna Scithe is one of the more complicated dungeons when it comes to mechanics, just because of the maze. I've pugged this dungeon several times now, and people just keep messing up in the maze. Nobody really seems to know what they're doing, and today we're going to end that. I will be teaching you the boss mechanics, a couple of the important trash mechanics, and the maze. As always, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, you can find me on twitch.tv/ChevelleTV every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 6 to 11 p.m. server time. Or you can check out my Discord and ask me questions in there. The links are down below in the comments. Now let's crack into the video. Right, Tirna Scithe is located here in Western Arnhem, and it is one of the Night Fae dungeons. That means Night Fae players get a bonus in this dungeon. They can clear some of the overgrown routes near entrances, giving you shortcuts, and they can enable a spawning point. After you kill a boss, you'll be able to respawn at that point instead of the start of the dungeon. Besides that, there's also not a shortcut, but a secret room before first boss where you can grab a 10% stat buff. Alright, now the first boss, Ingra. Ingra has several abilities that you have to deal with. It's definitely not the most complicated fight in the dungeon, but it's not super easy. First off, we have Spirit Bolt. Spirit Bolt is simple. Interrupt it when possible. Other than that, just keep nuking the target you're on. Repulsive Visage. This is an unavoidable fear. Just make sure, just before the cast, that you're not near any shit on the ground so that you can't get feared into it and take unnecessary damage. The Ad casts a cone attack, Bewildering Pollen. It's a frontal attack, which is the theme of the dungeon, really. There's a lot of frontal attacks. This is one of them. Simple. Don't stand in front of the boss. Avoid it. Keep DPSing. Another ability the Ad has is Tears of the Forest. This is a channeling spell that puts a bunch of puddles on the floor. This is the stuff I was talking about when talking about the unavoidable fear and avoiding the stuff on the ground. Stay away from the puddles on the floor. Get feared, don't get feared into them, win-win. Other than that, the Ad casts a Death Shroud on the boss. This is a shield on the boss so that he takes less damage. This means our damage priority shifts to the Ad and we nuke it to 20%. At 20%, the Ad will break free from its bonds, remove the shield, and actually put a debuff on the boss, having him take 200% damage. This is when phase 2 triggers. When the Ad hits 20%, phase 2 starts. Boss takes extra damage. Save your cooldowns for this phase. You pop your Lust, you pop your cooldowns, you nuke the boss as hard as you can. In Mythic Zeros, we've been able to one-phase him. I imagine as soon as you go higher to 10s, 15s, 20s, you won't be able to one-phase it anymore. But still hold your cooldowns for this. Alright, now for the fun bit of the dungeon, which is the maze. Before we start, there are a couple things you need to know. The most important thing is the variables of this minigame. It's a pick the odd one out, but it's not as simple as pick the odd shape out. There are 3 different variables. There's shapes. It's either a leaf or a flower. The flower or leaf is either filled in or empty. And then last but not least, there's either a circle around it or no circle around it. One of the 4 pillars will have only one of these. I'm going to give you a couple of examples now. We're going to look at them and we're going to find out which one is the odd one out, and hopefully I'll be able to explain how you can tell the differences. Okay, so this is the first example. We have a filled-in flower, an empty flower with a circle. We have a filled-in leaf, and we have an empty leaf. So that means there's 2 flowers, one's filled in, one's not. Also 2 leaves, one filled in, one not filled in. And then last but not least, there's the flower, but that has a circle around it. The circle's the only thing that occurs once, so that is the correct one. That is the gate you want to go walk through. Avoid. Okay, the second example, we have a full flower. We have an empty flower with a circle around it. We have a full leaf. And we have an empty flower with a circle around it. So we have 3 flowers. We have 2 circles. 2 empty ones, 2 full ones. However, only 1 leaf. The only thing that occurs once here is leaf. So you go through the gate with the leaf on it. It is that simple. This will take some getting used to, but eventually you're going to be very quick at these. All right, let's go jump into the last example I have. For the last example, we have a full flower, an empty flower with a circle, a full leaf, and a full leaf with a circle. Now, if you look at this, you can tell because of the tick, the correct one is the flower with the circle around it, the empty flower. This isn't because of the circle and it isn't because of the flower, because there's 2 leaves, 2 flowers, so that occurs twice. There's 2 circles, that's also there twice. However, there's only 1 empty one. And in this case, it is the empty one. You run through that gate, easy fix. All you have to do is do this a couple times, run the dungeon a few times, get used to the mechanic, and you'll be doing this in a matter of seconds in no time. All right, the second boss already, Mistcaller. Mistcaller is a very simple fight. First off, you have Dodgeball. Dodgeball are a couple of arrows pointing outwards from the boss. It is 1 arrow in normal. In Mythic, though, you get 1 for each party member. A few seconds after the arrows appear, a ball gets shot out. This is the dodgeball bit. Just dodge the ball. No damage taken. Keep DPSing. The second ability the boss has is Patty Cake. Patty Cake is cast on an enemy. For us, it seemed to be the tank every time. However, this isn't specified in the dungeon journal. But the targeted enemy is the only one that can interrupt this spell. So if you're targeted by this and you're the tank, just make sure you interrupt it. If you don't, you get disoriented for 5 seconds. Third ability, Freeze Tag. The boss summons a Vulpin. When this Vulpin reaches the enemy they're fixating, it stuns everybody in an 8-yard radius. It's very simple. Vulpin spawns, it fixates. Whoever it's fixating moves away, and you try to control the ad because you can stun it, trap it, you can CC it. Rogues can blind, hunters can trap. You could use tar trap, entangling roots, all that stuff. Just make sure you control the ad and stay away from it. You can basically ignore it. All right, now for the last ability this boss has, Guessing Game. The Guessing Game happens at 70, 40, and 10% of the boss's health. The Guessing Game is basically what you've been training for. You did the maze on your way to the boss. The maze is basically the Guessing Game. 4 ads will spawn around the platform, all having their own markers. You identify the odd one out and DPS it down. If you DPS the wrong ad down, it will explode and do AoE damage to your group. This will pair with the AoE damage that is already constantly pulsing while you're in this phase. So you have to get out of this ASAP. Just identify the correct ad, nuke it down, and rinse and repeat. This is the entire fight. Alright, now for the third boss, the last one, Tred'ova. At 70 and 40%, the boss uses Consumption. It will gain a shield when casting this, and you have to break the shield to be able to interrupt the cast. Next ability is Mind Link. A bit like the link on Raden and Nyalota. Players get linked together, you have to run away from each other. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. The next ability is Accelerated Incubation. The boss spawns 4 ads that will fixate a target. These ads drop a pool when they die, so you can control them a little bit, bunch them up together, and kill them at the same time to keep the puddles, the stuff that they drop, condensed in the same area. Next ability is Acid Expulsion. Swirlies underneath your feet you have to run away from. This is Warcraft 101. However, after Consumption, the boss gets a little bit smarter and starts predicting your movement. It will place the swirlies accordingly. Keep an eye on your feet. Just keep moving. As far as we're aware currently, the boss kind of looks at the direction you moved previously, and that will be the prediction, right? It will if you went left to dodge the first time, it will predict you're going left again. Just change your direction and you should be fine. However, just keep an eye on your feet and you'll be okay too. Now, last but not least, there's Parasitic Debuffs. These casts should be interruptible when cast. However, we haven't really caught a cast going out. But you can still deal with them if you miss the interrupt. One of the players in the party will be infested. That means they'll have a parasite stunning them, or they'll get a shield and get mind controlled. You either kill the parasite to free them, or you break the shield to free them, and then you just move on, rinse and repeat. All right, that was it. This should get you through the entirety of Tirna Scithe. Hopefully I managed to explain everything properly and get you guys through it without making you too confused. It's it's not the easiest dungeon. It's definitely one of the more fun ones. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this. Hopefully the guide was helpful. If it was, don't forget to hit the like button down below the video. And if you're down there, please hit the subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. And yeah, don't forget, I stream on Twitch every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 6 to 11 p.m. server time, EU. Drop in, say hello. And if you really want to go the extra mile and join the community, Discord link is down below in the description. Come say hi.